LeBron with a groin injury. He's out for maybe 2 weeks. Upcoming games for the Lake Show tonight in Brooklyn, then Giannis in Milwaukee on Thursday, then back-to-back Denver on Friday, then back home Sunday against Durant. Luka came alive a little bit in the fourth quarter there without LeBron, but are the Lakers in trouble here, bro?
Well, look, as long as this is only a couple of weeks, then no, they're not in trouble. We know they have no chance of winning the West without LeBron playing right at the top of his game for what it is right now, and he was playing terrifically. So if he's out for 2-3 weeks, but he's fine, he comes back health-wise, and Rui Hachimura and Jackson Hayes eventually come back healthy too, because, Nick, Luka needs a Jackson Hayes at the rim. Mm-hmm. Greg and I were talking about this earlier. Like, Luka's always that lob threat. You saw it in Dallas throughout his career. Having that lob threat at the rim to catch and finish is great for Luka Doncic and even LeBron James. So as long as they can get healthy, I think they'll be fine. Now, Nick, you may bring this up. Their seeding is probably going to drop. All right, just in the next 2 weeks, they've got 8 games. 2 of them against Milwaukee, 2 of them against Denver, another one against Phoenix. So they're already barely holding off, Denver to get that second seed. So they may drop, in the standings. But look, the West is so close and so deep that they can't worry about the seeding. For the Lakers, they got to be like, we just got to be healthy for when the time comes. And if they can get to that part, they'll be all right. I think a silver lining is that this will just give Luka even more chance to claim this offense as his own, right? Like, LeBron was doing a great job of turning it over to him. But now, for the next 2 weeks with LeBron out, it will, without question, be the Luka Doncic show. And LeBron has shown that he can step right in, play off Luka, play off the ball, and give you 25 to 30 points a night. So I think that's a silver lining if they can come back really healthy.
So stay on the silver lining for a moment and maybe get Austin Reeves going again, because Austin missed some time with an injury, and then in the couple games he's been back, he hasn't really looked like himself. He gets to kind of be the Robin to Luka's Batman as far as from an offensive creator perspective, so he can maybe get rolling again. But yeah, so right now, the Western Conference 2 through 5 is Lakers, Denver, Memphis, Houston, and the losses for those teams are 22, 23, 24, 25, respectively. And so when you look at the Lakers' next 10, like if LeBron's out 3 weeks, which would be the next 10 games, I look at it like this. You basically have to. The Brooklyn game tonight all of a sudden is tough because Rui is still out. Yep. I think Jackson Hayes is still out. Yeah. Dorian Finney-Smith is out for this game. But you look at the Nets, Suns, Spurs, Bulls, Magic, Pacers. Those 6 games, I feel like you're hoping to go 5-1, and then maybe that allows you to go 1-3 in the 4 against the Bucks and the Nuggets, and then you're 6-4 and you don't drop too far. But I agree with you that even if they go 3-7 in this stretch and drop all the way to the 5, that's not a death knell for them, especially because because the seeding is so bunched, you don't know is Golden State going to climb to the 5? Are they going to drop to the 7? You don't know who you're going to be facing in the first round anyway. LeBron Wilds didn't seem overly concerned, and I also think the Lakers maybe, and we'll talk maybe more about this when we get to the Celtics side of this, were somewhat encouraged by a lot of pieces of that game, despite the third quarter being such a disaster, because that was a game Boston, you guys both called it a must-win. They treated it like a must-win. They played their guys like a must-win, and we were talking about the Lakers not having enough size potentially when they're fully healthy. That game, they played 43 of the 48 minutes where the tallest player on the court was LeBron James for the Lakers. There was a 6-8 and under game, and they still found themselves down 4 in the fourth quarter and down 4 at halftime. And so I'm still bullish on the Lakers, assuming that we're not going to find out this is a 4 to 6 week injury, which, given LeBron's comments, it doesn't sound like he's worried about.
All right, so I'm going to show a silly highlight to make an interesting point. So the Lakers are 8-3 with Luka. And, Brew, you're very down on young teams, largely because they haven't either played enough together. It's a low light that's just a strange play from Jordan Goodwin here. Do you think, Brew, that the lack of chemistry, that this is still a new team, and as great as LeBron is, and as well as he's meshed with Luka, we know that they'll be great, but maybe everybody on the team, like, all right, another 2 weeks without LeBron, we are not going to be the team that we could be next year, or we will not be hitting peak once the playoffs happen. And I know it just feels like you're rubber stamping the chemistry a little bit prematurely.
No, look, I think that's fair. Obviously, chemistry is huge, and you need chemistry to win a championship. You may not have 100% of your chemistry, but you still can win big because what? You got great talent. Mm-hmm. We saw it in Miami. LeBron and Wade were not always, at least early on that first year, the chemistry wasn't 100%. They still were able to get to the NBA Finals. They obviously didn't win it, but they still were able to get there because they had so much talent. And that's the thing, when you look at the Lakers with LeBron playing off the ball and kind of playing this different role, but still being great in it, then you got 2 top 8 players in the league at their best, and that's just hard to deal with. And so that talent, and then the other guys playing off of them, because these guys are great passers, I think that could enable them. The chemistry has to improve and be at a certain level, but it doesn't have to be at its peak for this team to go deep, Wilds.
Okay. Nick, do you agree with that? We're going to move on to Celtics if you do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I also think that you have 2 guys who are 2 of the all-time guys as far as great regular season players who across the board their numbers get better in the playoffs in Luka and LeBron. Right. That is incredibly rare. And so, yeah, and also I do not think Goodwin is going to be a part of the playoff rotation. Now, that play maybe could have happened with anybody, but he's like their 11th man when they're actually healthy. Now, what I will say is this, quickly before we go to the Celtics, what this game did show you is there has never been a team that is as reliant on a Jackson Hayes or a Rui Hachimura because they are just so small. Right. They're small with those guys. Without those guys, they are LeBron and Luka were playing real minutes at center, and I do wonder if some of that contributed to LeBron kind of overexerting himself and straining his groin. Maybe not. Listen, I'm no doctor, obviously, but it's a lot to ask of anyone at his size, particularly a guy who's 40 years old. So they obviously need to be healthy, not just LeBron, but their other bigs going into the postseason.
Okay, turn our attention to the Celtics. The champs played like the reigning champs. Tatum had 40, Jaylen Brown had 31. Brew,